Hi everyone, this is Michael Potter, and today we're going to walk through the download and installation of the Drupal Users Group Vagrant environment. This will allow you to get up and running quickly with Drupal so that you don't have to spend all that time downloading and configuring and figuring out file permissions and where things go. We've basically got that covered. So this is just going to be a simple download and one command setup of an entire Drupal instance. So the first thing that we're going to do is let's go to where this repo is located. So we actually have this at git.psu.edu. Now I've already been signed in. If you have a web access account, you'll be able to log in. If you don't, feel free to contact us and we'll get you a copy of this. So once you've logged into git.psu.edu, what you'll want to do is search for Vagrant. And you should see a few listings, and we are going to click on the Brad Fisher instance of Doug Vagrant. Now whenever you click on it, you should see this feed. This is the project page. And go ahead and click on that README section. So in this README section, there is a step-by-step guide of how to install this. The first thing that it wants you to do is download Vagrant. So we're going to type Vagrant and go to that project page. So it's located at vagrantup.com. And what Vagrant is, it's basically an easy way to configure all the settings necessary to deploy a server, basically. So we use Vagrant to configure all the different settings and what operating system to use and things like that. So we're going to click download and go ahead and choose what operating system you're on and download the application. Now once that's done downloading, you're going to want to run it, and based on whatever environment you're on, just go through the normal installation progress as you would any other application. I already have this installed, so I'm going to cancel this for now. If we go back over to our README file, the second thing that it wants us to do is download VirtualBox. So let's type in VirtualBox, and we're going to click here. So VirtualBox is located at virtualbox.org. And basically what it is it's if you've ever heard of a product like Fusion, it's basically a way to maintain and run virtual instances of a server on your local machine. So it's free, it's open source product from Oracle, and it works nicely with Vagrant. So we're going to click download, and again, whatever operating system you're on here, just choose from the list and click one of those options and download and install that application. Okay, if we pop back over to the Doug Vagrant README file, the next thing that it wants you to do is clone this repository onto your local machine. Now, if you're familiar with Git, what you'll want to do is just pick a location and clone this address down to your computer. If you are not familiar with Git yet, go ahead and click the download zip file. That will download it to your downloads directory. And then go ahead and pop open your Finder and navigate to a location where you want to store this Vagrant instance. You can pretty much store it anywhere you want. My preference is to keep it in the documents directory. So under my documents, I have a folder that's called Vagrant. And I'm going to drag the Doug Vagrant zip file into that folder and unzip it. Cool. And I am actually going to rename this. Let's see here. I'm going to rename this just Doug Vagrant. Okay, cool. So the next step, step 5, what it wants us to do is run the Vagrant up command. Okay, so what we need to do is actually open this in our terminal. So I have my terminal application right here. If you're on a Mac, what you can do is from the Finder, click and drag the file that you want to open and drop it into terminal, and it will take you into the directory that you would like to go. So cool. So now we are in that directory. I'm going to type ls here to make sure that I'm in the correct file. And just like the README file said, I'm going to type vagrant up. And I'm going to hit enter. So now this is going to take a while. Depending on your internet connection, it needs to download and install and configure a bunch of different stuff. So it's constantly grabbing stuff from the internet and pulling down some large files. So just go ahead, let it run. It's probably going to take at least 15 minutes to install the first time. So I'm going to take a break here and come back whenever it's finished. All right, and we're back. So hopefully it didn't take too long. Once it's completed, you should see a few yay finished messages. Here's one from Puppet, I believe. So this is from Puppet that we also use to configure, to help configure the environment. And if we scroll up a little bit further, it gives us some definitions that we should put in our host file, some host entries here. We'll get back to that shortly. If we scroll up a little bit more, we should see that Drupal 7 was installed successfully and that Drupal 8 was downloaded, but we'll need to install it through the UI for now. So cool, if you saw those messages, congratulations, you're good to go, and it's time to move on to the next step. If we go back to our README file, the next thing that we need to do is add those host entries to our host file on our computer. The reason why we're going to do that is here is the virtual environment's IP address, and we want to map some domain names to those so that we can just type it into our browser, our local browser here, and that it will resolve to our virtual environment. So what we're going to do is, since I'm on a Mac, I'm going to copy and paste this. Actually, we'll copy and paste the Doug Vagrant line also. And I'm going to go back to my terminal, and I'm going to start a new terminal window by hitting Command T. And I'm going to type cd /etc. So I should be in the etc directory. So we need to type sudo and then vi and then hosts. We'll enter our password. So this is the password, your admin password for your computer. So once you've typed that in, you're going to hit J and keep hitting J until you get down here towards the bottom of the file. And once you've reached the end of the file, you're going to hit the O command, or the O key. So the O key will open up a new line and you'll be in insert mode. And while you're in insert mode, go ahead and paste in those host entries. Okay, so those look good. So now I'm going to hit escape to exit out of insert mode, and I'm going to type :WQ ! And whenever I do that, the changes should be made. Awesome. So we'll go back over to our Vagrant installation. And let's actually see if this is working now. So we're going to open up a new window and type HTTP. And then we're going to type Drupal7.dev. All right. Well, looks like it's resolving to the new environment. If you do have any issues with it not resolving, what you can do is try to type vagrant reload. And sometimes you need to reload it just so that it can get those new host entries and everything will be copacetic. So, but it looks like it's working for us. So let's go ahead and move ahead. So now we are at the login area. And to log in, the username is admin. And the password is pass. Pretty simple. All right, now we're in. So here you go with just a few downloads and a couple commands. You have an out-of-the-box Drupal 7 installation. What we've done is we've also included some modules that we feel that are a good starting place. That almost all websites we make now have these modules enabled. So we went ahead and included those for you. You can disable those if you would like. You can do whatever, but they're just here for your convenience. So now, where to edit these files? Let's go ahead and go back to our Finder, and we're going to actually we're going to open this Vagrant file in your text editor of choice. So whatever editor you use to edit code with, go ahead and open this file in that. And it looks like I need to Sublime Text. I'm going to open it with Sublime Text here. Okay. So in our HTML directory is where we have our sites. These are where our sites are actually located. So here under HTML, you'll see Drupal 7. Let's go ahead and expand that. Now this is the actual Drupal 7 website. So if I change anything in here, this will actually affect the site that's on my virtual system. So they share this directory. So your computer and this virtual environment, they share this directory here. So any changes you make inside the virtual environment will change here and vice versa. So how do we get into that virtual environment? So this is just a server. We want to interact with it just like we would any other server. What if we wanted to SSH into it? To do that, we're going to go back into our terminal and we're going to type vagrant SSH. So that actually SSHs you into this virtual environment. So if we type ls here, we're in if we look in our path, we're in our home directory. Let's go into the Drupal 7 directory. So that is located at /var/www and cd into the HTML directory. So this directory here is exactly what we're seeing over here on our computer system, or on our file system, on our local computer. So let's cd into Drupal 7 and take a look around. So we're in here. Now, we configured Drush for you. Drush is a phenomenal tool that you'll want to use pretty heavily whenever you're developing with Drupal. So you can type in Drush right now just to test it out. So whenever you type in Drush, this will just give you a listing of all the different commands that you can run with Drush. So if you wanted to easily clear cache, if you wanted to drop your database, if you wanted to create a new database, if you wanted to create a new role, new permissions, install modules, uninstall modules, set variables, it's got everything. It does it all. It's a very, very useful tool, and we've configured that for you. So let's go ahead and download a new theme. Let's see the Omega theme. So in here, in our Sublime text, typically themes are located at sites, all themes. So as you can see, there's nothing in there. Let's go to our terminal and let's type in drush en for enable Omega, and then we'll hit enter. So what this will do is it will look in our Drupal 7 website and see if we do have the Omega theme. If we don't have the Omega theme, it says, as you can see, it says it could not be found, but it says, would you like to download that from Drupal.org? And we'll go ahead and hit yes. So that's going to go out to Drupal.org and download the theme and place it in the correct location in our site. So as you can see, it downloaded it to sites all themes, just like we expected. And now it's actually enabling that theme in our website. So it's going to say, the following extensions will be enabled. Do you want to continue? Yes. And as you can see, it's now been installed successfully. So if we go back to our website and click Appearance, you can see that we now have the Omega theme enabled. So if you want to run any Drush commands, you typically want to run them within the Vagrant environment, within the virtual environment. So you would want to Vagrant SSH into the environment and run your Drush commands. And any, if you want to change any CSS or PHP, you can do that through your shared directory here. So if we wanted to start adding some Sass here, we can go ahead and do that. So I've just added a style to our .scss file. If I'm in the virtual environment, I'm going to cd into sites all themes Omega. Then I'm going to cd into that actual directory where I made the change. So let's go into Sass. And then I believe I edited this Omega file, and as you can see, there is our definition. There's our body definition there. Cool. So you're now off and running with the Drupal Users Group Vagrant environment. As we said, we already enabled a bunch of things for you. So let's say that you just want to get back to a vanilla Drupal install. It's pretty easy. You just want to, let me clear out here. And let me actually go back to HTML, cd into Drupal 7. So I'm in my Drupal 7 directory. And if I want to start at square one, I'm going to type drush and si for site install. And that will install a fresh Drupal installation for us. Be careful, it's very destructive. This is going to wipe your database, but it's a good way to get back to a starting point. So I'm going to hit that. And it's going to say, are you sure you want to drop everything in that Drupal 7 database? Yep. It's going to drop everything, redo the Drupal installation, and in a few seconds it should give me the credentials to log in to the newly configured Drupal setup. Alright, looks like it's done, and as you can see, it's giving us some new credentials. So our username is admin and our password is this password here. I'm going to copy that, take it over here to our new website, paste it in, and now we have a fresh Drupal installation. Well, that was downloading and installing the Drupal Users Group Vagrant installation. Hopefully it made sense to you. If you have any questions, feel free to hop on to drupal.php.edu. We have some blogs and some helpful projects going on. We also have links to our social media accounts where you can contact us and get some information and some technical help. So thanks everybody.